Now, a few hours later, it's been bubbling away nicely. You then just want to sieve it into a
Mhm.
container. Now, a roast chicken stock, I try and make like a liter. So like from one carcass and, like 3, 4 hours of bubbling away, you can get a good liter of stock. Now, because it's had a bit of roasting to it, it's going to have like a nice dark brown color to it. Now, once it's cooled, pop that in the fridge. That will last for probably 4 days. It probably lasts longer. The more gelatin you have in it, the longer it lasts. So like the gelatin acts as a kind of it stops bacteria being able to like travel through the liquid. But what we would tend to do is Monday we might have, I don't know, something else because Jess doesn't want to eat chicken. The kids like we had that yesterday. But then kind of Tuesday, Wednesday, you can use that to make a really great ramen. Now it's such an easy dinner because you literally just you get your liter of stock, you pour that into a pan. Now if you want to go super fancy, you can add things like kombu and some katsubushi and
Wow.
make essentially like a mirin stock. You don't have to that. You could just add some soy sauce, some those little dried mushrooms are quite nice, maybe some ginger, some garlic. A bit of miso paste is really good, really good for you, particularly by the live miso. It's gonna be really good for your gut. And then you just essentially you bring it to the boil, cook some noodles on the side. You could boil an egg if you want, and then just shred in your chicken, any kind of leafy greens. So you talked about your vitamin K from your kale and stuff. Chuck that in. Just chop up
Yeah.
some spring onions. You can get loads of lovely veggies in, and essentially just taste it, season it, and you've got yourself a really delicious bone broth. Essentially, that's going to
Wow.
be full of flavor, and also it's coming from a meal that you've already paid for. So you've already paid for your chicken. Now, okay, yes, you've got a little bit of extra veg, but really, it's pennies, and actually, you're going to have yourself a really delicious meal. And my kids absolutely love it. So it's and what we quite like doing is because I like mine with a bit of spice in it, or I might want to put some kimchi in, and they're not so into that. So you can almost do it as like you just give them the broth, and then you just have like your chopped up bits on the outside, and then you just kind of add what you want. So
Mhm.
Jess would probably absolutely load hers up with kale or any kind of leafy green because she loves that. I'd probably have more chicken because I quite like that, and you just a sprinkle of some toasted sesame seeds and a bit of sesame oil on top, and you'll have something that will be far nicer than what you'd get at Wagamama.
Oh,
And nothing
delicious.
wrong with Wagamama, of
Yeah,
course.
that sounds very
And
good.
it just it's using up all of your leftover bits, and yeah, totally delicious. But or you could just use it as the base for if you're going to make a chicken pie, for example. Say you got loads of shredded chicken left, you could then use that to thicken your
Mix it up.
gravy. Or your
Yeah.
sauce, and it's just going to have so much more flavor, and it's going to be the nicest pie that you've ever made.